Let's look at the small caps ETF. First off, read this disclaimer carefully and do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. So we go here, and the USA Russell 2000 Small Caps ETF is the IWM. So 46% here from the 52-week low, and approaching a 6-ish% pullback. So let's here jump into the chart. We start with the huge giga picture with weekly data points, and we have been on a very big rally, and then we certainly have lost momentum. And let's actually measure how long we have been basically shuffling sideways. 245-ish days. That's pretty significant. And the saying is, the longer we go sideways, the bigger the breakout or the breakdown. So these are the weekly data points. It is pretty clear that we are in this box, in this low end of the range. Buyers come in. The problem is that the sellers, they show up here consistently. When we go here to the daily data points, the red 200-day moving average, a very important moving average, it's been bought very consistently. So that is bullish. The challenge here is this blue 100-day moving average, which has become pretty clear resistance. So it's gone from being support here to now being very clear resistance. So we are stuck between a very important moving average, support, and resistance. So we really have a very tense situation, which will result in some kind of a move. Looking at the MACD, we have just seen a sharp deterioration here in the bullish momentum, but accumulation distribution, it has been making a new high. So there are buyers building positions. When we go here to the daily data points, there's nothing in particular here when it comes to either the PPOs or the RSI. We are basically in that neutral zone. That is very typical of these consolidations. But as I said, they usually are resolved through a big move. So it's been pretty boring for quite some time now, but it will get things exciting. So these are some interesting correlations. So weekly data points. The Russell 2000 here in the background, and we look at it against the S&P 500, 93% positive correlation. With the microcap ETF, we almost have a perfect correlation. Very strong correlation here also with the VSS, which is the global small caps ETF. Looking at the short time frame, daily data points, then we have no correlation here with the S&P 500. That is, to a significant extent here, you can see that the correlation just imploded during this massive consolidation. Strong correlation here with the microcaps. Weaker correlation here with the global small caps. So definitively we do have a big change here in correlations because of that consolidation. Okay, so looking at the seasonality over the last 5 years, it definitively pushes us in a bullish direction. October and November pretty strong. The last 10 years, November closes higher 100% of the time. October is one of the stronger months. Over the last 20 years, November is the strongest month of all, closes higher a whopping 84% of the time, an average 3% gain. October is also a relatively strong month historically. That pushes me in a more bullish direction. We do have that key support level, we have strong seasonality, so that's why the bears are likely to wait until maybe November until they build any kind of bearish position based on seasonality, because you do see that January here is the weakest month, which means that there's been quite a few times where November has been a very good month to put on a bearish thesis. Okay, looking at Finviz, we're just stuck in this range. When we go here to ETF database and compare the Russell 2000 ETF with the S&P 500. Looking at the price earnings ratio, then we do see that the S&P is 8.7% above the Russell, so there is some difference, but it's not like Russell is like cheap either. So 20 PE is not deep value. Now looking at the dividend, 0.9% here for Russell, 1.3 I guess we could say for the S&P 500. Looking at the holdings, so AMC is actually one of the top holdings here for the Russell. Sana, Scientific Games Corporations, Stag Industrial, and of course here you have the giga companies here for the S&P, among which is Amazon as well. Sector breakdown, the market cap breakdown. So even though it is viewed as the small cap ETF, you do see that the mid caps, they are actually the biggest portion, 56%. So that's quite interesting. Okay. So when we take the evidence together here, the technicals, the seasonalities, the correlations, the fundamentals, the bullish thesis is a bit louder than the bearish thesis. But this is also one of those situations where we absolutely must have the bulls making some move soon. Because given that we have had this very big long-term consolidation, there will be a very substantial move if the bulls do not show up now. Given that November is the strongest month for Russell, if the bulls are not able to buy that, not willing to buy that, then the bears will take note, and the bears will put on a big position because they know, they will just be able to call, the bluff, and that's when we will have a very substantial breakdown. So there's basically two angles here. So yeah, there will be a very substantial move for sure. It is just that you need to be nimble in case we do see that the bulls chicken out, because that's when it could be a very good time to join the bears.